Diogenes the dog here, and we're going to talk about perseverance today. I was born legally blind. I needed 3 eye surgeries to correct my vision, all within the first 18 months of my life. And the doctors told my parents that I would never play sports and I'd never drive a car. I'm here to tell you that do not let others' opinions of you dictate your reality. You can do whatever you want, regardless of what the doctors or anybody else says. You can work and make your own life. As evidenced by this tattoo right here of completing an Ironman triathlon, full distance. And I did drive an RV all across the United States. I've been through 42 states. My longest trip was a whole month and 8,700 miles. And just get out there and explore and keep doing you. As an Ironman triathlete, we have a saying that says you got to dig deep into your suitcase of suffering. And that just means that you have to be willing to endure the hardship, the boring, the mundane, the hard work, the sweat to get where you're going in life. It doesn't matter what you choose to do, but you can never get there by just sitting around and worrying about what other people have, worrying about how others are getting ahead of you. Focus on you and what you have on your table in front of you. And then I promise you, you will start to be gifted by the universe. But you have to focus on developing yourself, mind, body, soul. This is perseverance. So we're going to shoot a couple more shots, I'll come back to talk. Let's talk a little bit more about the Ironman triathlon. I could have chose the easy course, but for my first Ironman I chose to do Ironman Boulder, which is not an easy course. Up at around 5,400 feet elevation. It's up in the mountains and I'm a flatlander, but instead of going for a place like Ironman Florida, I chose to do it up in the mountains with 20% less oxygen. I did it with no coach, no nutritionist, no plans, no gear, no heart monitor, no Garmin, no music, just your willpower. That's the perseverance in the way of the dog. Like I said, mind, body, soul. Focus on you and God will fill your cup, or the universe, whatever you want to call it. But you just have to keep going and don't let others tell you you cannot do what you are seeking. So everyone did that, nothing would get accomplished. Nobody would break ground. Nobody would innovate. Nobody would be successful by any means, because so many people, when you decide to do something beyond what everyone else chooses to do, they say no. Even the people that love you, even the people that are supposed to support you, they're usually your biggest critics, because they can't picture themselves doing it. So they tell you no, that you can't do it. Or you gotta be more grounded. You gotta focus on what's right in front of you and just take the easy route, take the easy path. Do what everyone else is doing. Don't follow your heart. Don't follow your music. That's what I've chose to do with my life. I've taken the road less traveled, and forged my own path, and that's what's made all the difference. And even though I've chose to live simply and focus solely on myself, I've always been provided with more than what I need in life. And that's the benefit of the way of the dog. Balance, virtue, perseverance, kindness, sticking up for others, never giving in and never giving up. It's kind of like the Naruto, You gotta be audacious enough to say, I will be Okage. That was some nice nut twinkle right there, as my dad used to say. I come from an athletic family. And while I had to work twice as hard to become athletic because of my eyes and hand-eye coordination, I had a good mentor in my father. He is a Hall of Fame basketball coach, one of the winningest coaches in Michigan history, and he also played on scholarship to a Division I college with his twin brother. It's back in the 60s, but my cousin, she played pro balls in Belgium and France. Me, I'm more of a swimmer, but I do love some good basketball. So you just got to keep moving, keep going forward. It's important to just take care of your body. Please don't fall prey to drugs and alcohol and daily use if you can all help it. I understand that there is hardship and it's easy to take the numbness, but you won't be as bitter if you can focus on what makes you better. Rather than numbing yourself from society and giving in to the hopelessness, persevere. Overcome that. Don't just drink your beer and numb your pain. Don't just drink your beer and complain. Don't just do drugs and complain. Do something about it. Do not be a victim. In the modern society, we've lost focus on the sweat equity, the hardship of life, doing the hard things. Everyone wants to go viral. Everyone wants to be the next sensation. But that's not the way of life. That's less than 1% that do that hit the home run, right out of the park. You gotta be realistic, slowly build, one grain of sand at a time. Eventually you can move a whole mountain, forge your own path, cut through the jungle. But sure, it's gonna be hard. You gotta worry about all the mosquitoes and snakes and everything in the life that's gonna try to bring you down. And there's times you're gonna wanna give up and give in. But you just have to focus on within and know that you are enough. You are enough. Do not let people push you down. I know I said it over once and I'm probably repeating myself, but do not worry about how others are getting ahead of you and be like, oh, they had it so easy. You don't know what they went through behind those doors to get there. Because I'm going to tell you, a lot of people look at me and say, well, you've had it so easy, you've had such a privileged life, blah, blah. Yeah, let's talk about my privileged life. I had to take care of my hero, my father, and watch him slowly pass away as I took care of him. And it got to the point where I was his body. I had to give him showers and literally do everything for him. And I healed my relationship and we became closer than ever. And then I had to try to mentor my nephew. And then he ended up dying of mental illness and a drug overdose. And then I had to try to heal my sister, which was his mother. And she ended up going into mental illness and drug addiction, overdosing. And I lost her. And now I'm being a primary caregiver and executive assistant for my mother, rather than just taking the easy route and putting her in a damn nursing home like a lot of other people do. I'm standing up and being the man of the family and taking care of her. And I've had to face a lot of prejudice for doing that. People have told me all kinds of things. Go get a normal job, do this, do that. Yeah, it's like, that's not how I was raised. That woman, when I was born, the adoption agency called her. And they said, miss, we have a child for you. We know you and your husband. You've been waiting for a few years now, but we have a boy for you. But there's one thing, he's got medical issues, and we don't know if you're gonna want him. And this has always stuck with me through my entire life, what my mom said on that phone call that day. She says, no, he is my boy, we are coming to get him. And she got off the phone, called my father, and they went and picked me up the next day. They chose me, even though they knew I had medical problems. They chose me. And not once throughout my life did I ever not feel like I was their child. They taught me unconditional love. They taught me respect. They taught me perseverance and to never give in and to follow my heart and my dreams. Regardless of what the world tells me to do, take a stand as a man, be who you are authentically and raw, never give up and never give in, and follow God, and go forth and be kind. Be empathetic, be understanding, lift others up, because any idiot can be strong and dominate people. I'm a big 200-pound, almost 6'3" man, I could have used my strength and my loud voice to bark and push people down, but that's not who I believe in. I believe in the true strength comes from conquering yourself and lifting others up. And that's how you get ahead in life. Not putting others down, not being louder, not being physically aggressive. Any weak idiot can do that. Anybody. What takes real strength and real courage as a man is to put others above you, to change their heart through your way. Show an example. Go out into the community. Lead. Don't always just follow. Mentor people. Take a chance on people. See their humanity. Because everybody has something special inside of them, but most of us don't have someone that looks us in our eyeballs, sees our humanity, sees our soul, and goes way deep down into that darkness and help them lift it up. I was lucky. I had that kind of mentorship in my life. I had that kind of role models. And now I'm here on YouTube sharing my experience with you to try to make a difference and bring balance into this world of chaos that we live, because it's dark times, because we in the Western world at least are following weak men. We value money above all else, and if you have money, then people think that you're successful and smart, and that is just bollocks. You need to bin that, as they say over in Australia and the UK. Just throw it in the bin. You do not need to be rich to be successful. You do not need to be rich to be intelligent. I have 160 IQ, and I've rejected wealth by all means, but I'm still wealthier than probably 70% of the country that I come from in America. And I've just lived simply. And I got lucky, I guess, or I'm privileged, I don't know, but I call it perseverance and faith. You just keep going forward. Like Luke Cage, the comic book hero, forward always. Doesn't matter what the darkness you're going through, doesn't matter the darkness around you. You have to be able to conquer that. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are not a victim of your trauma. You can overcome it. Trust me, I know it's hard. I've went through all kinds of loss, hardship, fights, and everything in between. You just got to keep going, shoot your shot. If you miss the shot, get the ball, pick it back up, pick yourself back up, and do it again. So, I feel that's enough for today. I feel we're at enough today. I'm going to end up the talk and just go finish playing. I think it's getting ready to rain anyways. So that was the talk about perseverance from the heart. No script, raw, not quite unedited, but it did take a few takes. Got a new camera woman here today. I love my wife. But, woof, Diogenes the dog out.